What is the ribbon of life exactly? The ribbon of life is what is needed to create a living organism. Atoms, molecules, organelles, cells, tissues, organs, and organ systems are part of the ribbon of life. Atoms are the smallest component of an element having the chemical properties of an element consisting a nucleus. Molecules consist one or more like atoms in an element of two or more different atoms in a compound. Organelles are a different structure within a cell, such as chloroplasts, that perform a specific function. Cells. A cell is defined as the smallest unit of an organism within a nucleus. Tissues. The definition of tissues is a group of cells. Organs. The definition of an organ is a part of the body that has a specific function. Organ system. An organ system is our cells working together in order to provide a living organism.
So, this time we're going to talk about the kingdom of life. What is the kingdom of life? The kingdom of life is every living organism that is divided into 5 major kingdoms, which are fungi, plants, animals, protists, and monera. Okay, let's talk about animals first. What are they? Well, animals are the most complex organisms on Earth. Animals are multi-celled organisms that eat food for survival and have a nervous system. This includes mammals, reptiles, birds, and fish. So, if you have a pet, your pet is part of the kingdom of animals. And in the kingdom of animals, it's a living organism it's a living organism that is multi-celled and that eats food to survive. It has a nervous system. For example, if you have a pet like a dog, a cat, a goldfish. For example, I have a pet. He is a dog. So, for example, this would be part of the animal kingdom. He would be part of the animal kingdom because he is multicellular and eats food to survive, and he has a nervous system. Isn't that right? High five! Woo! Go animal kingdom. But now, let's talk about the plants. They are the second largest kingdom, while the animals are the first largest kingdom. So, plants. Plants contain chlorophyll, a green pigment necessary for photosynthesis, a process in which plants convert energy from sunlight into food. There are cell walls that are made by a material called cellulose, and they are fixed in one place. Plants are divided into 2 groups: flower and fruit-producing plants, and those that don't produce flowers or fruits. They include garden flowers, agricultural crops, and grass. And animals are the first largest kingdom, while plants are the second largest kingdom. Now, we're going to talk about fungi. Fungi are usually motionless organisms that absorb nutrients for survival. They include mushrooms and molds. If you don't know what a mushroom is, it's like when you play Mario and you see the red and the green mushrooms. It's kind of like that. It has its little stem and it looks like it has a hat. Yeah, that's what a mushroom is. And if you see it on the ground, don't pick it up to eat it. There are mushrooms that are bad and mushrooms that are good. The good ones you buy at the store, you use them to cook. The bad ones that you found on the road that are really bad for you. And then there's molds. Molds are like the fuzzy green thing that you find on like bread, food, and stuff like that, which is not really that good for you. Now we're going to talk about protists. Protists are mostly single-celled organisms that have a nucleus. They usually live in water. Some protists move around while others stay in one place. Examples of protists include Amobia. Now we're going to talk about Monera. Monera are single-celled organisms that don't have a nucleus. Bacteria make up the entire kingdom. There are more forms of bacteria than any other organisms on Earth. Some bacteria are beneficial to us, such as the ones found in yogurt. And that's the kingdom of life. It's really easy.
The cell. Today in our science video, we're going to be talking about the cell. The cell is made up of many different parts, such as the nucleus, the cell wall, cell membrane, nuclear membranes, cytoplasm, iridescent reticulum, ribosome, mitochondrion, follicle, lysosome, chloroplast, a nucleus, oh that's a repeat, sorry, a Golgi aparatus, a cilia, a foramina, protus, a keratome, and those are the parts of the cell. So today I'm going to be describing each part of the cell and what it does. The cell wall is an outer layer, rigid and strong, made up of cilios. It supports the growth and it's the protection of the cell. It allows H2O and CO2 to diffuse in and out of the cell. The cell membrane is in all cells. It is a plant inside the cell wall. In the animal cell is the outer layer of the cholesterol. It is a double layer of phospholipids with proteins and selectively permeable. It is the support of the cell. It is also protection, and it controls the movement of materials in and out of the cell barrier between cell and its environment. The nucleus is a large oval, may contain one or more nuclei, and holds DNA. It controls all activities of the cell. It contains the heredity and material of the cell. With this, it's describing that it can pass on genes and make difference on what you turn out to be when you grow up, like with your parents, with the different cells. A cell membrane it surrounds the nucleus with double membrane and selectively permeable. It controls movement of the materials in and out of the nucleus. Chyloplasm is in all of the cells. It is a clear, thick layer, jelly-like material, chylostol. It organelles found inside the cell membrane, contained by the collagen fibers, supports and protects cell organelles. The iridescent reticulum, or ER as we like to say, is a network of tubes or membranes, smooth without ribbons and rough with embolled ribbons. It connects to the nuclear envelope and cell membrane. It carries material through cell, aids in making protein. Ribones are small bodies free or attached to the iridescent reticulum, made of RNA and protein, and synthesizes proteins. The mitochondrion, a peanut-shaped double membrane, outer membrane smooth, inner membranes
folded into crisp. A peanut shape is kind of like a normal peanut you can find. It's double the type of membrane that you can find inside the cell. It breaks down sugar molecules to release energy and incites aerobic cellular respiration. Development. Today we're going to be learning about a unicellular organism. A unicellular organism, also known as a single-celled organism, is an organism that consists of only one cell, unlike multicellular organisms that consist of multi-cells. Today we're going to be learning some types of single-celled organisms, such as Paramecium, Angelica, and Albania. They all have a nucleus, which should be found in every cell, but they also aren't exactly the same. Like, for example, Angelica has a phalangium, and in the Paramecium, they do not have a phalangium. And in the Albania doesn't have a cia, but a Paramecium does. So you can see that they're not exactly the same, but they're all single-celled organisms. You can find single-celled organisms in lots of places. There are many different types of single-celled organisms. If you ask what's the difference, then we first better look up what is a multicellular organism, which is pretty much the same. A multicellular organism are organisms that consist of more than one cell, which is kind of like a singular celled organism, except it has more than one of them inside of it. The definition of a multicellular organism is a multicellular organism that consists of more than one cell, in contrast to a single-celled organism. To form multicellular organisms, these cells need identify to attach to each other. So a single-celled organism is independent, but a multicellular organism needs its other to be, it has to be dependent on someone to work. So some of these organisms are known as, some of them are known as a nerve cell and a tissue cell. Those are multicellular organisms because they need to work together to make the body function. Well, that's for this episode. If you need a little extra help, then you might want to replay this. So yeah, bye!